And Chef's going to start recording. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to week one. We're still in it, but I'll tell you, it's moving right along. Um, I want to welcome everyone. And, we're waiting on those resumes, y'all. So I know I'd mentioned till Thursday, but if you have it, by all means, find it, send it, and we can start critiquing. I think Chef already mentioned he's giving some feedback to the folks that just that have sent it in between yesterday and today. So, again, just a critique, right? We've been talking about the impact that a resume could have, and you're trying to one up the competition. And the resume obviously is the first step to get yourself noticed, right? And to get that phone call. I think we had a great discussion yesterday about the types of questions, right, that we can encounter. We talked about the status, right, the folks that you cannot discriminate against. We talked about, not every manager should be a manager, right, and interviewing. They have no idea what kind of questions are illegal or illegal or inappropriate. Okay, so it's your right, to obviously feel safe and secure when you're joining a new organization. At the same time, do the research. Okay, do the research even before you apply. Go to the website, right? Go to the website. Look up the chef, right? Is that something you want to be producing every day, right? Look at the menu. Look at the baked goods, right? Look at the Yelp reviews, right? And figure out a pattern in which are they meeting the demands? Where are they falling short, right? Is there a trend going on? And what you want to do is ask yourself, wow, do I really want to be part of that? Why do they keep hiring? Why do they keep losing people? And I don't know how many times I hear from students, oh man, I can't stand my chef. My response is, right, what are you going to do about it? What are you doing about it? Are you going to, duck and run and say, I'm done? Or are you going to try to figure out why you and your chef cannot get along, right? And there's a very evil three-letter word out there that lives out in the culinary industry, really any industry, sales as well, even retail. Ego, okay? And, in my experience, man, we're so proud. We're so proud to create food and to put it out there, right? We know it's good. At the same time, when you're trying to teach someone and train someone and really kind of show them the goals, it's important to be humble, right? And thank your staff and be grateful, and that's not always happening, but Anaid, we see you. Yeah, you're here. So Chef, do you want to maybe talk a little bit about that and how does the student kind of bounce back from, maybe a conversation where it's, you do what I say, this is my kitchen, that kind of thing. Is that happening out there? And, what do we do?
It happens. Sorry, it's a two-way street. To have respect, you got to earn your respect. And I've always, my thing and I've seen it both from both sides of the story. I've seen that the chef has this huge overinflated ego, where it's either my way or the highway. And I see chefs who are too timid to even have a confrontation or delegate duties. So you got to have a fine balance between both of them, because remember, your staff is the one that's going to make you successful. So treat him with respect. That means working with him side by side, hand by hand. Getting them out of the weeds, helping them as much as possible, but not doing their job for them. Okay, they'll never cross that line of someone doing somebody's job. You are paying them to do a certain job, or you are getting paid to do a certain job. So somebody steps in and does your job, then that defeats the purpose. So when you come across those individuals, and I worked with many in the past, back in the 80s when I started, everything's now really sensitive. Back when I started, I was working with a Russian executive chef. He was so temperamental, he would literally grab the satay pans and fling them across the room and hit the wall. I had other ones who would just slap you in the back of the head and degrade you, calls you all kinds of names. And I work with excellent chefs who their management styles was more of still being the leader, but having that fine balance of when even delegating do this, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you do this? Can you take care of this? No problem, chef, I got it. Instead of, hey, you do this right now, or so there's certain ways to deliver the message. My thing is you learn from all aspects of walk of life, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. So take the bad, learn from them, learn what not to do, and learn from the good also as well too. Learn how to delegate, how to manage, and how to talk to people. We're all human beings. We're not animals. We're not dogs. We're not robots. We're human beings. Even though we are getting paid to do a job, remember, respect goes both ways. You earn it and you give it back.
I have to agree with that, but chef, man, and in my experience, I've come across very emotional, very driven chefs, that can be quite intimidating, right? That's almost like a stigma that's been attached to chefs and, for the past 100 years, right? And I like to believe that the days are gone where chefs are pot throwing, there are cussing, they're running you out of their kitchens. And who wants to work in that environment, right? I mean, that could be considered hostile working environment. Fast forward 2020, yeah, right? That could be very scary at times. Hold on a minute, what did I get myself into? So having that conversation, right? Talking with your coworkers, because, and this whole scenario is once you apply, once you're in, right? You pass it through the various hoops, you're there, and then all this starts happening, right? And you start trying to find and figure out, hold on a minute, is this the right place for me, right? And that's what I was talking about the other day. Give yourself that time, right? I think you owe it to yourself. You've obviously taken the time to apply, you made it, you're there. Now, what are you going to do about it? You have to be able to adapt, right? And talk about things, and really learn quite quickly. So my whole thing is, how can you really learn the cycle of that year, the ups and downs, the business cycle, how they treat you, if you're running after 2 weeks, right? That's not really fair, So I think we've all heard that expression. You got to grow that thick skin. You got to be able to put it on, right? The suit of armor, if you will. Go in there and just let things bounce, right? Because you're observing, and you're trying to make it through that probationary period. So does anyone have a story maybe they want to share on this topic? Maybe you were intimidated. Maybe you said, you know what? I'm not gonna let them get me. I want this job, right? I need to learn from this experience. Anyone want to share? Anaid, I see you. Go ahead.
About 3-4 years ago, a friend, never work with your friends, guys, or family, or just make it be strangers. But a friend of mine got the opportunity to open up a place, and it was called Good Juju Cafe. And we started off at a huge debt because she bought everything brand new. And then after that, we launched in the middle of West Campus, but in the middle of about to be winter break. So that was already going against us too, because all the students had gone home. And she had everybody on the clock to train us, but that just furthered our deficit. And eventually when the owners started getting onto her about budgets and stuff, and she had to be in the kitchen, she would throw pans with oil or hot off the stove. And this was a friend of mine, a really close friend of mine. We had been really close friends for about 3 years. So never work with your friends. Never let your friends be your boss. That shit was terrifying.
It's important to be able to distinguish business relationships, right, and social relationships, i.e. family, friends, neighbors, classmates, right? There's nothing personal. I mean, this is your livelihood, right? Please don't take it personal. I need to feed my family. I need to pay my bills. So I'm not going to go down, right? I can't fail, right? And it can be very tricky, right? Trying to manage that when you hire friends and family, because, you know, they may get it a little confused to where, oh, come on, man, you know, we're good. No, I asked you to be here on time. I asked you not to go into overtime, right? I mean, all of these things, you know, piling up, and we just can't have that. Oh, you remember the time where you know, you're in trouble and I helped you out? No, man, that's not fair, right? You can't bring that up, you know. So consider that. And I hear a lot of students, you know, talk about opening up their own business, and you know, but half say, yeah, I'm gonna hire my cousin and my aunt. My aunt has experience in the kitchen. Okay, be careful, be careful with that. You know, just make sure that there's some specific lines. And once we start crossing them, you know, here comes a conflict. You know, but hey, I'm not the one to sit here and tell you how to run your business, but it definitely can happen. You know, so.
So
Anyone else been in a situation where perhaps they felt intimidated, and how'd you handle that? How'd you handle that situation?
My dad, like when I was first learning out how to cook, he would yell at me and curse at me, but I would just, throughout that experience, I learned just to get thick skin and push through. That's all I could do. Can, because he still does it.
Right.
And if I try, even if I try to tell him another way to do something, or if he's wrong, he gets mad even more.
Yeah. Well, you know, and again, your name is on the marquee, right? Your name's across the menu, so you have to be very you're very proud of that, right? Of that special recipe, of the special, and you want it to come out perfect, you know. And of course, tensions may come up when they're not being met, you know. So,
Daniel, you had something to add to Mr. Daniel?
Yes, Chef. How you guys doing?
good. Welcome.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to add on that. When the chef he was talking about in the 80s, kind of remind me on the military. It's very similar, the structure in the kitchen and the military. I'm being both, and you come across to different type of leadership, like toxic leadership, soft leadership. So you find the balance on that too. Also with that, with the family things, every time we promote in the military, uh, they take that person, they put in another unit because that reason, because we grew up with him. So it's natural. I mean, some people cannot separate business and, friendship. So that's the way we used to do. We just put it somewhere else that nobody knows him. So like that, it will be good for him and there will be no conflict on that area.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So when you guys come across those individuals, whether you like them or not, because you never know how they're going to turn out. They might turn out to be the worst, your worst bosses ever. But remember, if you decide to work for that individual, him or her, you sign that application. That's your contract that you signed. You signed up to be working for them under that person. Now, if you come across your decision that you have a choice and you don't want to be there, that's fine too. Give your 2 weeks notice. Work your 2 weeks notice. Don't just up and quit and leave. Don't leave like that. That's burning the bridges, because in this business, in this industry, is a very, very small world. One word of advice that was given to me a long time ago, one of my chefs told me, he said, when you give your 2 weeks notice, work your best until the last minute before you walk out of the property. Because what we find, and it's very commonly done in the industry, when you give your 2 weeks notice, whether you've been there 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever, those 2 week notice, you become what we call STD, short-term disease. That means you come in, clock in and write the clock, and that's it. If you've been there for 6 months, a year or 2 years, those last 2 weeks you are going to be remembered the most, before anything before that. No matter what kind of accomplishments you did, what kind of contributions you did that you made to the company, those last 2 weeks are the ones going to be remembered for the most. So if you decide to come back to that one job site, or that boss knows somebody that you're applying for another job, they're going to remember your name. So always be cautious. Those 2 weeks notice you give, work him to the best you can to the last minute. Don't go out like that, or don't get up and just quit. Because I'm telling you guys, it's a very, very small world in this industry. I know people that were applying for a job with me that they used to work with somebody else in another state, not city or town, state, and I did not hire them because they had already burned the bridges with them before in the past. So word of advice, don't ever burn your bridges. If you want to quit, it's your choice. More than welcome. If you can't stand it, take all the learning from them and apply for your next job, or when you become the boss. In the industry, we have a term called what is it called? When we work for a certain boss, whether good or bad, we always the term that we use is we're robbing them of knowledge, whether they have no knowledge or they have tons of knowledge. But that means that you're learning every single day from that individual, him or her, what they do, how they carry themselves with respect, no respect, how they treat their underlings, their subordinates, how they treat their peers. You learn from that. So when you go on your own, you're going to become your own individual person, your own individual boss. Again, like you said, Ms. Amber, you got to have a thick skin in this business, not by means of getting beaten, hammered, and be cussed out, but in this business, you got to be able to take the critique, whether good, bad, or ugly, and apply that, grow from that. Because if you can't take that critique, you can become thick-skinned. You're going to break down, and you're going to start, becoming a basket case. So take it as it comes in. If it's brutally honest, take it and learn from that. Get stronger, get better from that critique. Don't, say, oh, I'm done, I'm out of here, so forth and so on. Because I know sometimes, we get hurt. I used to be in that spot before. It was somebody give me the critique that my food sucked. I'm like, damn it, I want to, punch a wall or something, and I will take it personally. But it's not like that. It's an actual critique of the job task that you've been asked to do, whether you did it right or wrong. And you got to keep that in mind and remember that. Just like when you were a kid, don't stick your finger into the electrical outlet because you're going to get shocked. Learn from that critique. Okay? Sorry, I get off there.
No, exactly right. Exactly right, Chef. And everyone has a story to share. We've all kind of been in a situation where we think this job is the right fit. We work so hard on the resume, they ask for a cover letter, and we're there and we're looking around saying, oh my goodness, right, here we go. And I think you all are in a great position. Maybe not so much right now, right, today, but as soon as this kind of pandemic blows over, you guys are going to be working in kitchens, making a difference. And the pressure is really going to be on you guys because, hey, culinary student, right? You bring in that experience, you bring in those skills, and quite frankly, they're going to be looking forward to working with you, right? So, show of hands, just so I kind of get an idea. Show of hands, who's in pastry? Show of hands, pastry. Okay, that's what I thought. And then culinary, the rest of you guys, yeah. Awesome. So whether it's a pastry kitchen or a full-blown culinary kitchen, get ready for the phones to ring. Because as soon as this thing lets up, I'll be right in line waiting to go and experience, some great food. So I look forward to hearing where you guys are at as we see around campus, right? Fingers crossed. So I'm in the process of trying to upload an assignment. Any other questions or comments?
I do.
No? Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm trying to handle this super professionally.
Of course.
I turned in my 2-week notice at Subway, and most of you have had me in class and know that my job at Subway has not been very great because my boss, not the best boss. He has been there for the longest time. We just didn't get along very well. So I gave my 2-week notice Monday, at the beginning of my shift, and I thought that I handled it very well. I told him about a person that has already applied that could work my exact shift because she has the same class schedule as me and stuff, so that he knew that there was a backup for me or whatever. I said that I was gonna give my 2-week notice today and stuff, and he was really mad. He just told me fine. He's like whatever, and then didn't talk to me the entire rest of the shift. It was a 5-hour shift. That was the quietest one I've ever worked. He just didn't say anything. And then I was like, well, I'll have to talk to him Wednesday because I get my new schedule for that. So he changed my schedule from what it had been to where I'm working the hours I'm supposed to be in class. So he had me night shift. And so I had to message him. I was like, I'm very sorry, but my class schedule is still the same. It's still from this time to this time. I can't work. I have to be in class. And so I just got a 1-word fine message and then another picture showing that my schedule was changed back to what it had been. And I was just like, okay then. So I know that's going to be like a rough 2 weeks.
So
Wow.
in this case, your boss is being very childish because he knows your value at work. Either he has expressed it or not, him or her. He knows how strong you are to the team, and so he's mad that you're leaving them. So you can't let your personal feelings get involved. It is what it is. So in this case, like I say, it's very childish. He decided to give you the quiet, the silence treatment and retaliate by switching your schedule to the schedule that you cannot do, and then go back and say fine. So the next week or week and a half that you're there, just go in there, do your job to the best you can. And if he doesn't want to hear, I don't know if it's him or her, they want to talk to you, that's fine. Don't communicate. Just keep it business and do the best you can. And at the end of the day, when you're done, hasta la vista, baby. See you, right? But don't burn your bridges. Okay.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm gonna work out my 2 weeks, even if it's quiet the whole time and stuff, because I want to be able to have that reference or whatever. And I did it was nice. I mean, Subway's okay. I just need to do what was best for me, and I now work at DD's, which isn't in the food industry, but it is higher pay, and I really need to be able to pay my bills during this virus and stuff. So just got to do what you got to do, I suppose.
As a boss, and I had people come and work with me for years and years, and people come and work and leave because the same situation. We cannot let our feelings get involved. If somebody comes to me and they put this 2 weeks notice that they've been with me for such a long time, or maybe such a short period of time, I had to put that aside and treat it like a business. I understand, no problem. I'm sorry that we can't, offer you more pay, but in this case, if you're willing to work the last 2 weeks, that's fine. We'll go ahead and accommodate you, work your last 2 weeks. And if you need a reference, don't be afraid to put me down as a reference. That's the way they should have gone, not being, childish and be retaliating. That's not a way to go to on that scenario. If somebody decides to quit and go for a better job, if you were my staff, I was, more power to you. Feather my cap because you're going to hire, right? I did everything I could. You trained. You came in, you did everything that's possible. Now it's time for you to move on. Hey, watch a little bird fly, right? Go for it. But that's me.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, of course, you always want to, think that your boss is a professional, and usually they start showing their true colors right when something like this happens. And it's a shame, but it happens. Don't be surprised. You're definitely a value to the company. You're an asset to the company. And it's time to move on to greener pastures, right? Sorry, I'm doing the right thing here. I'm giving you my 2 weeks, or, there's a conflict in my schedule. My priority is school. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Here we go. And we're humans, and sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us. Obviously they were saddened to see you leave, and he was immature about it, so that's on him, nothing that you did, right? So that does happen. All right. Anyone else? Go ahead. Ms. Deja, go for it.
I think it's funny because her boss gave her the silent treatment, but when I quit my old job at Auntie Anne's, I got the exact opposite. And I feel the same, that I did it in a professional manner, and it was a 2-week notice because I was actually leaving to do a better job so I could actually save money for school. And I told my old boss that. I said, I'm so sorry. I actually do like working here. This is just what needs to happen. And she just started yelling. And this is at an Auntie Anne's inside Walmart. So everyone in Walmart and their grandma heard. It just wasn't it. It was just on a fun time. And she said, I can't recommend you. And if you do put me down, then I'm just going to tell them that you were awful. But yet all my coworkers, when I first started, they told her that I was a fast learner and that I was the best coworker that they've had so far. So she kind of would have been lying. And
Yeah.
that was just an awful time.
Just prepare ourselves, right? We got to prepare ourselves for anything that could happen.
So in a case like this, and I hired people from Walmart in the past, Walmart does not give out references. You have to go to the company website and call their HR department, and the only thing they can do is give you their hiring date, and the last day work, and that's about it. Just the tenure, hire, and the last day they work. They can't give you any more feedback. Now, as far as her to give you a personal reference, then don't use her. Use somebody else, some of your coworkers, but don't use her at all. Again, Walmart does not give a reference at all. You got to call that 800 number, whatever the number is, and they show you to the system, and they just verify your dates of employment, and that is it.
This was at Auntie Anne's and Walmart.
Oh, okay.
It was separate. But yeah, she was very mad. I honestly turned around and I started crying. But it's fine. We're good now. Yeah,
just be aware, because again, we let our emotions go, and when we have a valuable employee, we tend to don't want to let them go. So I have 2 experiences to share with you guys. Back in '96, I was working on a part-time on-call job that turned to be a full-time. So I was moving out of state. I was actually moving to New York from Long Beach, California. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, right? And the chef didn't accept it. He didn't accept my 2 weeks notice. He kept me on the schedule, and I had to work. I didn't have to work, but I didn't want to burn my bridges. So I worked until the day before I was actually driving across the states for him, because I didn't want to burn my bridges. So I should have stopped 2 weeks prior, but I didn't. I worked until the last day before I was driving out. But people like that, they just don't want to give you up because you're valuable to them. Another employee that I work for too, he asked me if I could extend my last day working with him because he didn't have nobody to fill my shoes. So I agreed upon it, no problem. I had 2 weeks left. He asked me to work those 2 weeks. I worked those 2 weeks, even though I didn't want to, because I already mine was gone, but did the best I could. So you'll find those instances where they won't accept it and they want to hold you back because you're so valuable to the company. So, and on the opposite, the flip side, you might have come across those employers who you put your 2 weeks notice and they'll say, okay, and they become kind of a-holes. Instead of letting you work those 2 weeks, they'll cut you loose on the same day you put your 2 weeks notice. There's nothing you can do. You're not being terminated. You'll put your 2 weeks notice, so they let you go on that same day. Hey, dudes, peace out. See you, right? So.
Yeah, it happens, y'all. And, take it from, a couple of guys who've been around the block a little bit, just prepare yourself. And that's why we're just talking about this. You're going to find your own challenges and your own stories to share. And all we're trying to do is it is going to happen. It does happen, especially in this competitive business. So any questions about resumes at all? I know this may be kind of a redundant subject, we're trying to cover here, but anything at all? We're feeling pretty good about resumes and what kind of questions to ask, what not to ask during the interview. Okay. What if someone asks you an inappropriate question. So we know that the illegal questions exist. Don't ask me about my age. Don't ask me about if I have kids. You know, don't ask me, you know, if I go to church on Sundays, right? Don't ask me about my limp. Can't do that, okay? What I can do is, if I'm a hiring manager, I could get you to read. I'm gonna slide over the job description to you, right? And I'm gonna say, hey, listen, you know, Daniel, I noticed. Actually, don't even go there, right? Just say, hey, can you read that for me, please, and sign off on it, right? Because you can't say, oh, I noticed that you were walking with a limp. Do you play sports or something? No, that's digging, right? So simply have them read and then sign off on it, right? Initial it, right? Can you lift 50 pounds over your head? Can you scoot, bend at the knees? Can you, stretch and pull and push, 150 pounds, right? If you can, great, because that's what the job entails. So, something to be careful. What about an inappropriate question? Okay. Can I ask you if you partake in recreational drug use? Catherine's shaking her head. Is that illegal or inappropriate?
Wait, hold on. I'm from Maine and it's legal there, so it's okay. But it's not legal here, right? Like you can't just like have weed at your house or anything like that.
Well, the whole thing is, that's a very personal question. And what does that have to do with me baking or me cooking and managing the saute station? It has nothing to do with that, right? Absolutely nothing. Whether it's legal or illegal, what difference does it make to you, chef? So again, it's very inappropriate. Hey, man, come on. Hey, we're in Austin. Hey, do you,
No.
Right. So your response should be, you know what, chef? Appreciate the question, but I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
Now it is on the application, or it is in the company culture. So a lot of places have no smoking facilities and have a drug-free environment, drug-free and alcohol environment. So with that said and done, they can't ask you this question because you're not going in there. They might have what they have. Some companies do a random drug test, and it's noted on the application once you get hired in your hiring packet. And we are drug-free, alcohol-free, and we do random drug tests. They won't specifically say what they're testing for, but I had to work for a place two places that they would do random drug tests. Just pick a name of a hat. And two of my sous chefs got let go because they tested positive for weed. Flip side, I was working for another company, and they were doing drug tests to hire, new hires. So we were working with a temp agency where this breakfast cook was an awesome guy. He came in, he was an ex-boxer in Oklahoma, dependable, loyal, came in uniform, even though it was a temp. We decided to bring him on board, and we were doing a drug test before getting hired. He failed it 3 times. And we gave him another shot. He passed it the 4th time, and we brought him aboard. So it is noted on the application if it's a drug-free, alcohol-free environment. Some might not have it, some do have it. So you gotta, you can ask those questions, but it might be noted in the application. Drug-free, alcohol-free, that sort of environment.
That's part of. That's a good point, chef. That's a part of you doing your research. If it does come up, a good chef, a good hiring manager will say, hey, by the way, this is a zero tolerance workplace, right? Which means, hey, if you get hurt on the job, we're going to test you. If you test positive, we're going to cut you loose. That's happened, right? And I've seen 2 chefs, 2 line cooks actually be dismissed for injuries at work. All right, let's go take care of you. Go see the special services, get you bandaged up. And someone will come to the property, and you're going to be tested on the spot. So, that's a good question to ask if you are a smoker. Hey, chef, tell me about smoke breaks. All right. So, that's a good question. All right, y'all. Let's keep it moving here. So as we asked the other day to submit your resume, and when they're starting to come in, so we're giving you till tomorrow, Thursday, right, to finalize, find it. If it's an electronic version, find your master, do some changes, some updating, right? Your current job at the top, always the most current. Your education needs to be spot on at the very top. You're going to school right now, right? So that should be there. You know, your address, we had that conversation the other day. That's up to you. But let's clean it up. Let's make it real lean, real nice format. Make sure your margins are looking good. Obviously check for spelling, because that's something Chef and I are gonna be looking, you know, for, the simple things.
I have given
Okay.
I have given feedback so far to Mr. Jonathan, Lissa, and I'm in the process. I was in the process of giving feedback to Chubbs. So just FYI, and Jonathan and Ms. Alyssa. Okay, you have my
Thank you. I
comments
was
on your resume.
about to ask.
Okay.
Okay. I do have a question. I haven't
Sure.
looked at your feedback because I didn't know you had looked at it yet. I just started at DD's technically today. I had training yesterday, but today was like my first shift. I'm not even like in the system. Do I have to have that on my resume yet? Because like I haven't passed the background or anything like that. Like it's like brand new, so I don't have it on there.
No, not yet. Because since you're totally brand new, so when you update your resume, make sure you're there at least 6 months before you can add it to your resume.
Okay.
After 6 months, that would definitely add it to your resume. Because right now, for whatever reason, if it doesn't work, you know, hopefully it does. But in some cases, you know, it doesn't work either way. So you may be not working for them 2 weeks into it. So it's not worth it putting in your resume.
Okay.
So
Thank
6
you.
months, yeah.
I have a
Good
question.
question.
Go ahead.
So I was working at a restaurant near school around September, but I left in November. Should I still have that on my resume or no? I was only working there for like 2 months.
I'm sorry, Kareem. Is that your TV going, or who has your television on?
My brother. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Go for it.
So I was working at a restaurant near school back in September, but I left in November. Should I still have that on my resume or no? Since I was only like working there for 2 months.
Since you're
Was it seasonal?
No,
Is it seasonal just for the holidays?
no. No, I left because it was hard getting to and from work. I was closing on the weekend, so it was like the buses weren't running.
Okay. So, do you have any other job experience?
Yes.
Okay. How long were you at the other places? Longer than those few months?
It was 6 months. It was a seasonal.
Okay. That's a tough one, and I see that a lot in students, especially our younger students who have just gotten into the job field. You know, just think about that though. Remember, you're trying to give that good impression. If you feel as though this job will help you get to the job that you want because you learned a few skills, because you were exposed to different things, then that's a call you have to make. Right? Without me looking at your resume, it'll be hard for me to determine that. But if it's a springboard to another opportunity, then go ahead. And yesterday, I didn't mean to say no, less than 30 days, no, right? It is considered a red flag, right? Especially for Chef and I who've been in the business and say, look at this guy, right? If those are bouncing around, you know, they're not going to bounce through here, right? I can't afford that, right? But if you feel as though, Karime, that it'll help you get the job you want, put it down. It's okay, right? And that goes to everyone, right? If it's going to help you land that job because you learned how to, you learned high volume, you know, you're baking 100 dozen chocolate chip cookies, right? But your schedule didn't quite work out. Hey, listen, that's awesome. You need to be proud of that, right? And put that on there. Go ahead and leave it on. And move forward.
Since you're a culinary student, I will leave it on there because if you come across my desk, your resume come across my desk, I may be looking at it, maybe question it. but I'm going to read more into it, because if I see that you're a culinary student and you were at a job for 2 months, I will still bring you for an interview, depending on your experience and depending on what you have in your resume. Because even though you don't disclose why you left until you have the in-person interview, and it's understandable, transportation. And I can tell you from past experience, because my resume I showed you guys, I was the minimum I was one job was less than a year, and for me in this profession, I have to be in a job at least no less than 2 years. And I was at a job for less than a year because I was driving an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half going home. So I quit because I found another job closer to home. And like Mr. Felix said, it was a springboard for me to go get a better job. So when I was interviewing for that job, they asked me, so you started on February and here it is November, or I don't know, September, and you want to work for us, why? And I explained, because it is an hour and a half away from my home, and it's taking up at least 3 hours away from my home, and also too, the job that I was applying for paid for a little bit more. So they understood the mentality why I was applying for the job and why I wanted to leave, and they took me on board. So there may be a benefit to you guys if you guys are for a job for 2 months. I would, again, if this is going to help you springboard to another job, go ahead and put it in there. And then, during the interview process, disclose why they ask you. Okay.
And that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping to be able to explain that. So, good. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
Of course. That's why we're sitting here talking about it. So fantastic. Anything else, y'all? All right. So I uploaded. I wasn't able to get the drive. I'll get that drive going and start dropping in assignments for you guys. And these are just daily writing assignments, that I feel as though it's just practice. We got to practice every day. Some of y'all are very creative. Some of y'all really enjoy writing. Some of y'all are going to dread it, right? And say, I can't do this, but we have to, right? For the next 5.5 weeks. So what I did is just put an assignment in under day 3, and I can show that to you. And what I want is for you guys to work on that, right? You have a solid 45 minutes. If you could get that into me, to us before Chef Miguel's class, that'll be great. So it's almost like a rapid fire. Let me get to that screen. Kind of a rapid fire assignment where, you'll see it and just get after it. And you'll just email this to me. Okay. Let me share my screen. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Mr. Ressa, you had a question?
So speaking of writing, for the discussion, did you say when you were going to open it or not? Because it's not able to just put anything on it yet.
I sent the ticket, Arissa, this morning, and I had a student remind me that it's kind of weird, Chef. Have you noticed that?
Which discussion are you looking at?
Our first week's discussion, all the discussions, they're kind of categorized A, B, C, D. It wasn't like that last block, and that's what I put in the ticket. We should just be able to go in there and hit reply.
So give me, for example, give me a discussion. What is it called? What's the name of it?
Week 1 writing struggle.
It's only 2 questions, but you cannot post nothing.
But it says it says there are no discussions yet in this form, and that it also says you're not a part of this group or something, or you're not added to this group.
Let me show you, Chef.
All right, cool.
So here, this is all really weird to me. This wasn't like this last block.
So
in
go
fact,
back to the
none
top.
of this was here.
None
of this was here. The questions are here already. Okay. You see that? The questions are here. What is your biggest writing struggle? How did this struggle come to be? What, if anything, do you do can be done, right? So you just go in there, 3 to 5 sentences, and then we're able to post. You should be able to get in there and post, and I would see the replies already.
Okay.
And for some odd reason, it's just not able to do that. So let me send this test here. Let's see what happens here. So what does it do to you, Arissa, when you try?
All right.
Let me see. Where's that?
See, because I added something here.
So I tried it on my
Right.
phone at first, which it just shows like, I don't know if you could see that, like that. Like
Okay.
that. And then I tried to go to my one on my laptop, and let me see if I take a picture of it and show you.
Yeah, there's something going on. So it's I can't tell you. I can't tell you why it's set up this way, but I would definitely, if there's a cutoff date, no, I think we'll have time.
And then it says you are not able to post to this group.
Yeah. So I think we have plenty of time. Even if they take care of it tomorrow, Thursday, you'll have Friday and then Saturday all day to get in there and answer these questions. Okay. So let's not stress about it too much. Let me share that assignment with you so we can get started on that. Okay. Let's see.
Sorry, I lost one of my screens, so I got it back and running. So I'm looking at it right now, and let me look into it, see what we can do. Okay.
I did send a ticket, Chef, this morning. We shouldn't be categorized, you know, into those numbers A, B, C, D. It should be open for everyone. So, all right. So here's the assignment, y'all. If you go to daily participation, assignment number 1, you click on that, and this is to get your juices going. Okay. This assignment, you're simply going to email it to me. You can answer these questions, right? And you're going to get in there, and it's going to talk about show, not tell. Okay. Below some examples of the writing that tells but does not show. For this assignment, look at each example and try to visualize the image, right? And come up with at least 8 specific details that you would show rather than tell. Think about what you actually see, hear, smell, not how you interpret these sensations. Obviously, you know, you're going to have to use your imagination and be very creative. So professional kitchens can be noisy and very chaotic, right? So why or how, right, are they chaotic and noisy? Okay, and you're simply going to be creative and write those things down here. In fact, you could just write down the question and then your samples for the, it's just 4 questions. Okay, these are some examples that kind of tells you what I'm looking at, right? So beautiful sunset, well, does not show the reader anything. Beautiful is a very vague word. A better image is, and then that's how you tell me what kind of sunset it was. Does that make sense? And that's what you guys are going to be practicing today. And preferably do before Chef Miguel's class. But if you guys go a little over, let's do before midnight today. Questions, comments?
So the writing struggle, Mr. Felix, it's closed, not open. That's why they can't see it.
Okay, sorry about that.
I just opened it. Yeah.
Was it hidden?
No, it was closed. It was open May 23rd, and some weird date. So check on the writing struggle again. See if you guys can access this. Access it.
Dale, también la más lenta, man.
Let me get in there. Discussions, cover letter. The due date for this posting to the form is Saturday. Yeah, Chef, but it's still showing group A, B, C. How do we know what group we're in? You see what I'm saying? That's what I sent it on. How do
Right.
we know, or how do the students know what group they're in?
It should be,
See, because before we didn't have groups. It was just a one all for everyone. It was wide open for everyone. You see what I'm saying? So evidently, you know, it's all open A through Z. But how do we know who gets in there? So that's what I sent the ticket on this morning. Okay. All right. Any questions about the assignment, you guys? No?
We
Y'all
submit
excited?
it by email?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just gonna email that to me. Just create a little doc, right? Google Doc, a Word document. You know, and again, what I want you to do is just start your creative juices flowing, and just start typing away. We're gonna be doing lots of that in this class. Look at y'all. Y'all are all typing away. I love it. Chef, what I did last block is I allowed them to go ahead and sign off or turn off your screen, you know, and that's allowed, right? I'm gonna go ahead and let you do that. And so you could start typing away and get after it. Would y'all like that, or y'all want to just? I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Chef and I won't go anywhere.
yeah, don't go anywhere. Just because say we can turn on the screen doesn't mean you go, oh yeah, dudes, peace out. No, look at your project.
Yeah. So again, what I want to see, and the purpose of this assignment is just to, you know, get after it and get your juices flowing. There's no right or wrong. Just be very creative and get after it.
Tu madre se fue ya. No trajo nada de comer. No trajo nada de comer.
Victor, you got some coffee there next to you, man?
What?
You got some coffee next to you there, sir?
No, I don't drink coffee.
No? Maybe some tea? Get a little caffeine?
Just water.
No? Okay. I know it's early over there, right? It's 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome, man. When does the sun come up there?
Like 5:30.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'll let y'all be for a little bit. Chef Miguel and I will be here. And if you have any questions, just please don't hesitate. But don't go anywhere. But you're more than welcome to turn off your screen if you'd like. Got about half an hour or so. Chef, who was still out? Was everyone here? Let's see. Got 26. So we got a few folks out, don't we?
No, Chubb's the last one he came in.
Yeah,
Chubb?
I joined.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Jesus was running a little late. He shot me a text.
Yeah.
There's Zach. All right.
Well, they're working on it. I'm gonna see if I can plug in the like my comments in the resume. I'm working with Chubb's.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, let me see who else submitted.
Once you have replied to our resume, should we like fix it and resubmit it?
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
does it have to deal with like the culinary and pastry industry, or can it be like anything else? Because I just realized like all the examples have to do with like the kitchen and dealing with like pastries and stuff, but can it be like other things as well, like daily life things?
So you're gonna make up your own topics, your own example.
Yeah.
If you could do that, that'd be
Like,
okay. But I thought it'd be easy, just school related, work related. I'm okay with that, Arissa. So tell me, you're gonna give me the topic, right? And then give me those 8 examples. Okay, awesome. Hey, Chef, let me, I'll go ahead and look at Deja's resume.
Okay.
Okay. And then that looks like Karima also submitted one. So I'll do Deja real quick.
Okay.
Deja, I'm already really enjoying the format. That looks like an Ann signature. That looks like Ann and Jamil's work there. That's really, really nice. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot.
Thank you. Glad I went to them.
No, it's really, really good. Okay, so let me see what I'll find, and I'll shoot it back to you with some comments.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. That was fast. I'll send you a few critiques your way.
sorry to bug. I just want to make sure that I understand this assignment correctly before I start in on it. So do we take the, for example, a kitchen is noisy and chaotic, and in 8 different ways describe with detail how a kitchen would be noisy?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure. Thank you.
And look over those examples at the bottom of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Right? Okay. Sure. Okay, Karima was asking about her resume. Let's take a look at hers. Chef, did you have, are you having any issues with your portal for this block?
Not at all.
Did
No.
you have to, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some odd reason, my 5 o'clock attendance was not posting.
What?
Yeah. Shelly kept sending me emails. Hey, you didn't post. You didn't post. Weird. It would go
Okay.
through the process and it'd give me the little green arrow. But
Right.
then every morning, yesterday morning and this morning, she sent me an email saying, "Hey, you didn't take attendance." You know, so I sent a ticket about that.
So we notice when we do attendance, you know, I save it and I send her and Chef Robin and a copy of the attendance for this class.
I have noticed that.
Yeah.
I do it opposite. I just send her the list of folks that did not show up.
Okay.
And that's why I did it last block. And I said, okay.
All right.
So yeah, that's, you know, I think she's okay with that.
Yeah, as long as we send her something, because we don't have the paper roster anymore.
Right. Was that your boy?
Yeah.
Your dog there?
Hit my elbow on my desk here, and he thought somebody's knocking the door, so he went out running. The security guard.
Yeah.
Quick question. When
Of course.
the assignment that's due that was assigned today, when is that due again? I just want to know if I should do this one first or fix my resume first.
Well, the resume you have till Thursday, right? I had asked for you
Yeah.
guys to get it done by Thursday. And
Mhm.
this assignment, it's almost like a quick fire. I want to see where you're at,
Okay.
how fast you can be creative and you know, answer those 4 little questions or
Okay.
samples. So today, preferably before Chef Miguel's class, or if you can't quite get around to it, before midnight tonight.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Felix,
Yes,
I have 2 questions.
of course.
What would the name of this assignment be?
So it's under day 3 in the portal.
Right. It says assignment number 1. So
Right, you just click on that.
but like as I'm creating the Google Docs, what would I name the assignment or just
Assignment
number
1.
Okay.
Yeah, assignment 1's okay. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And this is just a little daily assignment.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
And did you get my resume?
I just got it 30 seconds ago.
Okay.
Yep. Let me take a look at it and I'll send you some feedback on it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Liliana, I've done hers too.
Who was that, Chef?
Liliana,
Okay.
tell Liliana I'm a victor right now.
Okay, I think there's kind of splitting them up. So I just completed Sierra,
Okay.
and I'm about to look at Catherine's.
Okay. Really, dude? I'm working. Not dinner time yet. Relax. There you go, Victor. You're done too. All right, Ms. Julie, you're done too. Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Look at my.
No, go ahead.
Look at my security. Look at my security,
Good job.
dog.
That's good security. All right, Mr. Daniel, I got you particular in your resume. You got a nice format. I just got to add a couple more items in it to include your kitchen experience and school, okay?
All right, Chef. Got it.
For all of you guys, what I'm not seeing on your resumes, some of you guys is your Serve Safe certification. Make sure you add it on there, okay?
All right.
And when it expires,
Yeah.
make sure you put it's a 5-year certification on that guy. So make sure that's important. Hey, Chef, I just sent you a chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I mean, that way we could get them all, rein them in.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. All right, everybody. So as we're heading, closing down this class today, I appreciate everyone attending. That really makes it enjoyable to have full engagement, full participation, full attendance. You know, as we continue, you know, we're going to get into some discussions that I think could enrich your experience. So please don't hesitate. Don't be shy, right? There's no judging here. This is a safe place. There's no silly questions, okay? So I want to see a little more activity, a little more engagement from the rest of you guys. But I really appreciate it today. Tomorrow, I think we're going to give you a little bit of class time to finalize your resumes. There's a question asked, if once you get the feedback, what should we do? Should we resubmit it? Yeah, you know, let's take a final look at it. You know, I think, you know, we're seeing some really good resumes, not a lot of typos, a lot of errors, which is good. I did make some comments for you all to see. Anne and Jamil, I'm really a big fan of their work. So I would reach out to them. A lot of these templates don't allow you to, you know, really be too creative, right? Because you got to follow the certain, you know, portion size and won't let you, you know, do this or that. So that's something to consider. You know, and what you want is just a really professional looking resume, right? And that's all we're asking. So any other questions or comments before we shut it down for today? All right. Chef, any closing remarks?
No, just keep an eye on your resumes. I have given you guys some feedback, some items to look out for. And like I said, do put in your service certification when it expires. So yeah, keep on looking for those notes as I'm going on the list. Ms. Karen, I was working on yours next. So probably won't give you any feedback until the next class is over and done with. But I'm going on the list. So just keep an eye on those comments when they come in.
Okay, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 3 o'clock sharp. It's been a pleasure. Go grab a snack, a drink, and get ready for Chef Miguel.